Teddy Marchibroda looking on. He knows this Washington Redskin football team very well, having coached there before he came to the Baltimore Colts in 1975. First and 10, Baltimore, their own 14-yard line. Joe Washington has leaks in front, turns the corner, and fights for yardage out to the 20-yard line. And tempers flare.
Sure, this was inevitable. It almost happened on the last punt.
Lavender and Carr.
I can see why Lavender might have his feelings hurt. Carr going 78 yards against him. Let's pause 5 seconds and allow our station along the line to identify themselves.
This is WPLG, Channel 10, Miami. Call it home.
Washington with a 4-yard pickup. It's second down, or the 6-yard pickup. It's second and 4. Dowdy goes to the left, Carr to the right. Roosevelt leaks out to about the 23-yard line. Be short of the first down. Dave Butts at the bottom of that pile. Ken Houston coming up from his strong safety spot.
Frank told you about that man's intercollegiate career at Texas. He's another who's played with pain and with courage, needing knee surgery, as he has a couple of times, as he has had.
He had that remarkable record of 2,900 yards plus at Texas and did not play hardly at all his senior year. There's a little less than a yard to go. Joe Theismann warming up the sidelines for the Redskins. Two tight ends are in on the short yardage offense. Dowdy is in motion. Leaks gets the call.
Fumble.
Out, coughs it up.
I think they were
Baltimore
covered.
has it. It'll be 4th down.
I think that's an alert move by Jones, who saw that fumble, jumped back on it in a hurry. There you shot of Joe Theismann on the sideline.
I suspect he'll be in there.
Well, he's tying it up pretty tightly. David Lee will drop back to punt. Tony Green positions himself at his own 45-yard line. 10 men again at the line of scrimmage for Washington. Ooh. And Lee again had to kick one quickly, kicked it high. Fair catch called for and made in Colt territory at the 48-yard line. John McDaniel pressuring David Lee. Washington will have good field position when we come back.
The shimmering you see on this winter day is caused by heat, a very little heat. But Westinghouse has developed a way to take heat out of the air and bring it into the home. To heat homes, the Westinghouse heat pump can extract heat from winter air. It can reverse itself to air condition. Industrial heat is recovered by a larger heat pump. There is unused energy all around us, made usable now by Westinghouse, a powerful part of your life.
Now the day is done, you're on your own, feeling easy, heading home. Make it Buick. After all, life is to enjoy.
The new 1979 Buick Electra Park Avenue. The luxury, the prestige, the pleasure of driving one make all your hard work worth it. Electra Park Avenue.
After all, life is to enjoy.
There's really nothing quite like a Buick.
Saturday, an NCAA doubleheader. #1 ranked Oklahoma battles 4th ranked Nebraska. Then headlining regional games, 3rd ranked Alabama tackles LSU on ABC.
Oklahoma, Nebraska, one of the really big games of the year. Oklahoma currently rated #1. Must keep winning to retain that rating and win the national championship, and must keep winning to get the bid as the Big 8 representative to the Orange Bowl. And a remarkable ball carrier, Billy Sims, contending for Heisman Trophy selection, has had 3 straight better than 200-yard games. And here is Joe Theismann, and here is the Gipper.
Theismann, who started the first 8 games, won the first 6, then lost the last 2, has been the ball game. Hands off to Mike Thomas to get the feel of it. Thomas goes down in the arms of Ed Simonini. Dave Rode at the bottom of that pile along with number 71. That's Mike Ozdowski.
You just knew Theismann would be sent in there if, as I said, Kilmer couldn't move the team in that initial series of downs. He did via the ground for a first down on Thomas's great run, but Billy had connected for only 2 passes out of 11, a total of 38 yards, had 2 intercepts.
Theismann, 47% of his passes complete, 10 interceptions, 10 touchdowns. Fires into the arms of number 86, John McDaniels. No, out of bounds.
Bruce Laird is really responsible for that incompletion because I think
he pelted him.
Yeah, I think McDaniels would have held on, but Laird was right there, and
ball was well thrown, Don.
It was well thrown.
It'll be 3rd down and 9.
There's Billy, great 39-year-old veteran that he is. He can reconcile to what happened tonight, and he's not out of there for the night yet. We may see more of him.
The man with the headset was Joe Walton. He calls the offensive plays for the Washington Redskins. He's the offensive coordinator. 3rd down and 9 to Theismann. Single setback, it's Riggins. Theismann. Scrambling. Dumps it off to Danny Buggs. No. Was out of bounds.
Oh, that was...
As you can see, there's a difference of opinion on that play. And
they're getting kayaks in. Let's just cool it down here a little bit.
McDaniel is pointing up the field. And we have another officials conference.
One official called it out of bounds. Another one stepped in
and said it was good.
With the referee, Red Cauchon, he'll have to make the decision.
Always flip a coin.
Look at it. It was Danny Buggs, the receiver. Keep in mind, he must come down both feet inbounds.
It's an incomplete pass.
Oh, yeah.
What's the question?
There is none. Incomplete.
Wait a minute. One.
Well, this week's television guide has an argument. Marcia Broda doesn't want to use instant replays. George Allen does. It's a very topical time for the subject after that one.
4th down.
I can understand Teddy not wanting the instant replays.
Mike Bragg will punt.
Back to punt.
Pete Marshall Johnson, number 80. Joe Washington, number 20.
Yeah.
Mike Bragg with a fine kick, angling for the corner. And it took a Baltimore bounce and goes into the end zone touchback.
It really did, didn't it? That thing looked like it was going out of bounds. It kicked right in the end zone.
It looked like he had a beauty. Didn't work out that way in Baltimore. We'll have a 1st and 10 at their 20-yard line.
From the top man right down to the bottom man. It just passes right down the line. Everybody pushes for quality.
Willie Rawls, utility man. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
My job is to replace any absentees. I'm here, there, all over the plant. Yeah, you're not tied down to one job all the time. You're around different jobs. Metal finishing, welding, soldering. But soldering, I think I enjoy soldering more than any other job I done because there's a lot of skill in that. Yeah, the fellas keep something going all the time. It's never dull around there. Yeah, they get along very good. Yeah, union's good. Yeah, the people on the line, they have a lot of interest in the cars. If I go out to buy a car, that's where I go, looking for a General Motors car. Because I'm right there in the plant and I see how they're built, see the quality that goes into them.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
Hello, I'm Roger Staubach with the Dallas Cowboys. Tomorrow's Election Day. It's a very important day. The polls will be open, so please get out there and vote.
5 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Baltimore over Washington, 14-10. Mike Bragg's punt into the end zone. Touchback, Baltimore, 1st and 10, their own 20. Jones. Going for Washington, and it's just off his fingertips.
I just love to see that Jones throw that football. I mean, right there on a dime, just off his fingertips, but how he can throw. Incidentally, Frank, during the course of the game, Fans might note the absence when Baltimore's on defense of number 63, Mike Barnes, a great football player. Sprained knee, and it's not likely he'll be seen again tonight. That's at least the report we get.
They've had their share of problems. I mentioned earlier they lost both of their starting tackles before the season began. David Taylor on the left side, the great George Coons on the right. Both gone for the season. Second down 10. Draw play. Roosevelt leaks. Runs into a crowd, principally a big man by the name of Dave Butts, number 65.
On that last play of Theismann's that was unaccountably ruled incomplete, the pass to Buggs, you saw one of the reasons Kilmer decided to get Theismann in there, because in the manner of Steve Grogan, but perhaps not so efficiently, he gives you, as you look at the graphic on Roosevelt Leaks, that extra dimension. He was able to get out of deep trouble and finally, rolling right, able to throw the pass.
Third down 10. Dowdy goes left, Carr is out to the right. Jones looking for Carr. Will have to run the ball, and he's piled up short of the first down, and every time he takes off the ball, you have to wonder about his shoulder.
He's hurt again.
Obviously weak, and he is slow getting up.
Just what Frank was talking about. Oh. Look at that. Look at the way he's holding that right arm and shoulder, Don.
Well, we talked last night, and he said, you know, I really shouldn't be playing. And I said, well, why are you? He said, you know, it was another separation. They call it a shoulder bruise, said it was slightly separated. And that's just, you can tell. I said, well, why are you doing it, Bert? He said, well, I just, you know, I want to play, and I think that I can give them kind of a spark that we're going to do it. I said, you're going to really, you're running a risk, though,
of permanently damaging that shoulder.
And we were talking about shoulder operations. He doesn't want to have it operated. I had my shoulder operated a couple of times, and he says, I'm really trying to prevent that and play myself back into shape.
I'll tell you in a minute who faces.
David Lee will punt for Baltimore. Tony Green is deep, and the backup quarterback, Bill Troop, has a broken hand, so we will see young Mike Kirkland if Jones cannot come back. But this is Tony Green. And a roused up Baltimore special teams unit headed by Sanders Shiver hustles down there, and Washington will start at their 25-yard line.
Aroused is the word, and speaking of damaged shoulders, he doesn't want to have it operating on, you say. O.J. Simpson suffered a very severe separation of his right shoulder, ligament damage involved. He'll be out 3 to 8 weeks. It was his option to have surgery. He decided against it for the time being. Surgery would mean at least 8 weeks. Without, if he heals rapidly, he could be back in 3 weeks.
Progress marked at the 27. The Redskins have the ball. Theismann is the quarterback. Fake reverse to Buggs.
Oh, nobody there.
Wide open is Mike Thomas. And Thomas all the way down to the 38-yard line of the Baltimore Colts.
It was a nice play, wasn't it?
Yeah. It really was, and Theismann is giving them the life that Pardee wanted.
Should have given Kilmer that.
Let Kilmer run that play. You always have to suspect with a play like this that somebody missed a play, a defensive assignment. And I would guess that probably happened that time because Mike Thomas was the first back out, and nobody picked him up.
Pickup of 35 yards, first down, 38-yard line of Baltimore. Baltimore leading 14-10. This is Riggins.
Hey, good play.
Oh, Norm Thompson.
Thompson stripped the blocker.
Yep.
And Blackwood came over.
And Riggins gets 3. It'll be second down and 7.
You're right about Blackwood, Don. He's a hitter. Oh, Jones is feeling pain. You can see it etched in his face.
Grimace.
Well, Don, you've had a separation and the resulting surgery. I've had a partial. There's no way to describe how that feels.
That's very true.
Our producer, Denny Lewin, also had one. He says, I agree. Second and 7. Wide open is Buggs.
Yes, sir.
Buggs down to the 15-yard line. Corralled there by Lyle Blackwood. First down, Washington at the 15.
Oh, that's the very pattern Kilmer used successfully to Buggs for a touchdown against San Francisco.
It starts right here because he's got plenty of time to throw. Nobody there. That might have something to do with Mike Barnes being out. We talked about a while ago. Rowe is in there. A good pattern. Buggs is not doing anything really that tricky. It's just a down and across pattern. The ball's thrown right in there.
You know, he doesn't look like he moves that quickly, but he was a 9.5 sprinter in West Virginia, and he can really move across that middle quickly.
He wears ugly shoes.
Mike Thomas.
Oh, good move, Mike Thomas.
And Thomas gets away from one tackle, picks up a yard. It'll be second down and 9.
Mike Kirkland warming up. The youngster whom we saw on the opening game of this year's Monday Night Football schedule. When Burt Jones was injured and Bill Troop, the ordinary backup man, was injured, and Bill Troop is injured again. So for Ted Marchibroda, a long season of trying to struggle and hold the team together with the quarterbacks on the sidelines.
Second down, 9. Theismann wants Buggs, and he's knocked off by Norm Thompson.
Oh, that was a...
Buggs. At first, I thought they were going to exchange blows, and suddenly they were embracing each other.
You know, it's so hard for a defensive back that's been around for any length of time to adapt to these rules, where you cannot hit that receiver when he's 5 yards downfield, because when you've been around like Norm has for 7 or 8 years, you're just used to hitting a man, particularly when you get down around the goal line.
Well, I'm sure we'll get another look at it, won't we?
Pass interference going against Norm Thompson. Ball, as you can see, placed on the 1-yard line. It's first down and goal. Riggins. Washington touchdown. They take the lead.
Oh, the times they are a-changing.
John Riggins scores from 1 yard out. Washington has the lead once again.
Big hole over there. Nice blocks.
Ron Soule, number 64, another fine block. Mark Mosley is Burt Jones now down in front of our booth, is warming up to see how that arm is.
I think his face registers how it is.
Mark Mosley drills the conversion. And Washington back out in front.
Don't forget, folks, this Sunday night, a special Sunday night edition of Monday Night Football, the place, the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, as Burt keeps testing that damaged shoulder. And what a game. The Pittsburgh Steelers, with the best record in the league at 9-1 against the Los Angeles Rams, who have the second best record in the league at 8-2, which Washington could tie with a victory tonight. So that's a showdown game. And then on Monday night, Oakland, now tied with Denver in the AFC West at 6-4, goes against the Bengals, who are not a chump team despite their pallid record.
And Seattle is threatening. And Seattle is threatening. Indeed they are.
Look at there they are, the wounded ones of the Baltimore Colts.
All they need is a fife and drum. Washington will kick off, and we think it's going to still be Burt Jones. He was throwing the ball, chuckling, laughing with Ted Marchibroda, and it could be that he will go back in.
Bill Beck tried the fife and drum routine opening day in Comiskey Park 2 years ago, remember?
Well, as it kicks, Johnson is deep along with Washington, but this is short and taken by Johnson. And Johnson with a good return out to the 34-yard line. And Burt Jones comes back.
Oh.
Well, they must have determined that just the pain that goes with a shoulder separation. They must have determined that it could not be seriously damaged by him going back.
Well, I hope that's what they've determined. I would hate to see that great an athlete take a career risk.
Field position, 34-yard line. Baltimore now trailing by 3 points. Jones slow, pulling away from the center, hands off to Washington, who gets out over the 35.
He fell and hurt it again.
Slip coming away from the center, and
Don, don't you think at the very least he'll grow tentative about throwing?
I don't know. You know, if it hurting that bad as it looks right now, I wouldn't be out there. So you've got to just try to guess whether it really is hurting that bad, or, you know, some folks handle pain differently than others.
He's liable to uncork one about 50. Second down and 8.
If he does, Frank, you never can trust him for the rest of your life.
Dumps it off to Washington, gets the open field, gets the first down in the grasp of Chris Hamburger.
The thing is, he scares the daylights out of that secondary just by being out there. They're all laying back in rocking chairs, and he dumped that off just perfect.
Final seconds ticking off here in the third quarter. There it is. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. That's the end of the third quarter. The score, Washington 17, Baltimore 14. We'll return with the fourth quarter in just a moment.
I'm Roger Staubach of the Dallas Cowboys. On the field, my grip on the ball gives me the control I need. On the road, the Armstrong grip works the same way. Armstrong tires grip the road to ride you and your family in safety and comfort. Ask your independent Armstrong dealer about the Coronet steel belted radial. Armstrong tires grip the road.
Intercity Auto Stores, the world's largest Armstrong distributors, has 5 full-service stores from Palm Beach to Miami to serve you. Intercity offers the lowest prices in the state of Florida and will not be undersold. Special television bonus. Front-end alignment, regularly $8.95, only $6.95 for mentioning this commercial. Intercity also has excellent values on all mechanical services. Check your local newspaper or call Intercity Auto Stores for the location nearest you. Intercity, your complete car service shop.
Life is beautiful music all the time. Life is WLYF.
The streets of San Francisco, weekdays at 5 on 10.
Firing the ball back and forth. And I think the decision was made that he can continue because he is now moving back out to the huddle.
Well, either he's in pain or he's deserving of an Oscar.
I think the pain is there, but I think he also, from watching him, can throw the football. An event we'll see as we begin the fourth quarter with Baltimore trailing Washington 17-14. Baltimore first and 10. Just inside their own 47-yard line. Dowdy goes left, Roger Carr to the right. Roosevelt leaks first off the side and gets to midfield. Trips, or he might have had a bundle more.
Had Jake Scott not been up there, I think he would. Frank McClinton gambled with him and came up the middle. Leaks was able to veer off to his right. Scott came up from the safety position and tripped him up.
You know, I think he has had some trouble.
And he's limping, isn't he?
Knee or leg or something, because he just picked himself up, walked over, and Ron Lee had already headed towards the huddle, so it's probably something they discussed. He got 3 yards, a second down and 7, the ball right at midfield. This is Ron Lee, the big man out of West Virginia, 6'4", 234-pounder in his third year. Taken in the arms of Brad Dusick. After a gain of 2, it's going to be third down and 4. Now Lee will come out on the passing situation. He'll have a single setback in all probability. That will be Don McCauley, also a fine receiver. So we have 3 wide receivers. Carr 81, Ciani 45, Glenn Dowdy 35. McCauley is the setback.
Riggins and Theismann side by side as we have a temporary halt in the proceedings with Dave Butts, the big man, 65, going out.
Butts walked off under his own power. 4. Ball just inside the 49-yard line. Ciani. Carr split to the left. To the right is Dowdy. Over the middle is complete to Mac Alston. And Alston has the first down as Jones hits Alston coming across the middle.
He can still throw. He's driving them crazy.
First down, 36-yard line of the Redskins. Now out comes Ciani. Roosevelt Leaks will be back in the lineup, number 48, along with Joe Washington. Those the setbacks for Burt Jones. Washington.
No place to go.
Piled up into the pile, and then Coy Bacon pulls him out of the pile, but they'll mark it right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd and 10. Darren Talbot stood his man up.
Coy, coming from behind, would have liked to have gotten that football out of Joe's arms.
Darren's been around a little bit. Big man out of Texas. George Allen brought East with him when he came in '71. And a huge swap that also brought head coach Jack Pardee. 2nd and 10. Carr to the left. Will be covered by Lavender. Dowdy right. Williams will cover him. Washington.
He is not down yet.
Not go down. He's close to a first down, strictly on his own effort.
Oh, he's fun to watch.
He's slippery. But that wasn't the best tackling in the world either.
Get another shot of it.
Yeah, he does a lot of things that Lionel Mitchell does.
Scott slides off. One knee went down. I guess that's what they're going to bring it back.
They've been touched and a knee hit the ground. They bring it back to the 30.
I think that's what they got.
Watch this, Don. It's Kenny Houston who slides over him. Scott misses, and there's Kenny Houston.
Saw the left knee touch. In the arms of a defender. The ball is marked there, as it is. At the 30-yard line is 3rd down and 4. Don McCauley and Joe Washington are the setbacks now. McCauley gets it on a draw. It fools no one.
I don't think they got off on the right count that time. It was a little bit delayed action. Didn't have a good block up front.
Harry Brooks was in there, replacing the injured Dave Butts when he made the stop. 4th down.
Time not yet a factor. 11 solid minutes to go.
Seems to be some confusion as to...
Well, we don't know whether we'll see David Lee or Tony Lennart.
What happens a lot of times, they get guys hurt, and those guys wind up on special teams.
Well, they got Tony Lennart out there, but the man who holds the ball is a quarterback.
That's
I don't
right.
know that Tony Lennart, after what we saw in the first quarter, can reach it from there. They're going to try a block. Taken by Jake Scott. Opportunistic ball club, the Washington Redskins. They have been for years. They blocked Tony Lennart's attempt at a field goal. They have the ball at their own 26-yard line. We'll be back at Baltimore in just a moment.
Solidness and friendliness. You like the likes of Opal. Nimbleness and spaciousness. You like the likes of Opal.
There are lots of things to like about our trusty little Opal, like tender, loving workmanship. So if you're looking for a great Japanese car, look for a great American name.
You like the likes, the sheer delights. You like the likes of Opal.
I bought Jerome his new Bell & Howell movie camera because it's got a perfect movie guarantee.
Loaded with features.
It's easy to use.
Show him the power zoom.
With his old camera, he filmed his lens cap, his left thumb.
Ready.
Now, if a movie doesn't come out perfect, Bell & Howell will replace the film.
Let's have a dramatic shot of you and the luggage.
He deserves a good camera and a perfect movie guarantee.
Good movies are easy with a Bell & Howell camera. We guarantee it.
Larry Holmes makes his first...
Yeah, but he just fell up. Back in Baltimore, Don Harris blocked the attempted field goal of Tony Lennart. Jake Scott took it, moved it out to the 26-yard line where Washington, with a 17-14 lead with 10:32 remaining in the game, has a 1st and 10. Heisman the quarterback, Riggins and Thomas the setbacks. Buggins, 88. John McDaniel, 86. Those your wide receivers. Mike Thomas hunts and pecks along the line until he finds an opening and moves out to the 31-yard line. A gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Bert Jones continues to keep that arm warm on the sidelines. Eddie Marchibroda looking out. His team has had its problems this year. Second and 5. Riggins, delayed handoff to the inside, and Riggins just carries a Baltimore defender with him for a couple of yards. A gain of 2 is going to be 3rd and 2. Now they rule the progress. Will stop inside of the 33-yard line, so it'll be 3rd and 3.
It's a long time to call a play. That's when they're calling a pass usually, isn't it?
They're usually talking it over. They take much longer to call than a running play. Whoops! Theismann is down. It was John
Dutton.
Well, he slid around him and made a good move to come back inside and just knocked him down.
Big play for Baltimore. We have 9 minutes left.
You can see him coming in from the outside. That's Hermanling that's blocking on him. He just pulls him forward. Hermanling goes down, and there, the big fella.
Oh, and there's no mean feat for him to keep from getting a face mask call, but he kept his fingers out of there. Mike Bragg is there out to punt. Marshall Johnson standing at the 35-yard line of Baltimore. Another near miss. Johnson at the 39. Good defensive coverage. Hustling down there, number 26, and we've been calling him a few times tonight, Don Harris. First-year man out of Rutgers. Timeout with 8:41 remaining in the game. Baltimore will have a 1st and 10 at the 37.
My grandson and I don't agree on anything. But I want the performance and dependability he's been getting from his tires in my tires. So I bought the Advantage. Best radial BF Goodrich ever made. Excellent mileage, ride, handling, and they look a lot better on my car than he does. Get off.
The Advantage. Just one tire from the best line of radials ever made by BF Goodrich. The other guys.
The Computer Society. It's big news everywhere, and now it's in color TV. Computer Color 330, new from Magnavox. Computer Color 330, the all-electronic color system with 25% more lines of resolution. That means a sharper, crisper color picture than ever before possible. Touch tune television with Computer Color 330, new from Magnavox.
1st and 10. Baltimore at their own 38-yard line. Defensively, Ron McDowell in the lineup for the Redskins. Jones unloads it in the area of Dowdy. He was well covered. Gerard Williams and Kenny Houston.
Something worth noticing, Frank, the report on Big Butts. Sprained knee, not expected back tonight.
And he has been the big man defensively for the Redskins. 2nd down 10.
Who's replacing? Is that Perry Brooks that's replacing Butts?
Perry Brooks, number 69.
He's one of you big old boys, too, isn't he?
He was on the injured reserve all last year. He is a big one. 6'3", 260-pounder out of Southern University. Second and 10. A flag is downfield. Jones, I know, saw that flag. It's got to be interference, and he's short to Dowdy. But again, a flag is downfield.
He threw that one about as far as he could. It did not hit the ground.
8:29 remaining in the game. Washington 17, Baltimore 14. Trippi tripping call, and it's going to go against Washington.
That'll be tripping on the tight end coming out. I saw him stumbling out when he came off the line of scrimmage.
Number 59 of the defense, first down.
Brad Dusick got one of his paws in there and gets picked up on it. First down, Baltimore, 48-yard line. Flag is down again. You saw it top of the screen, Redskins offsides. Carr has the first down, 39-yard line. Boy Bacon left offsides, tried to get back. He was caught.
I don't think you can throw a pass like that with a separated shoulder.
It doesn't seem so, does it?
You know, you got an injury, and it hits it, but you can kind of numb it. So maybe his shoulder just went numb a little bit, but I don't think it's, I think that separation is healed pretty well.
Getting an awful lot of smoke on the ball.
And after an injury like that, you have a lot of adhesions. It takes a little time to loosen those up, and they are painful. Jones is 8 of 15 of the night, 160 yards, 8:24 remaining in the game. First down, 39-yard line of the Redskins. Baltimore trailing by 3. Dave Butts back in the game, number 65.
Oh, put him back in.
And they go right at Butts' position, and Roosevelt Leaks carries it out of the 32 for a nifty gain of 7.
That's interesting. They give us a report that the knee is sprained, and it's not likely we'll see him. And Jones picks up another first down on a passing play, so they shove Butts back in there. Damaged knee or no. There is Dave.
Well, maybe he didn't know it was sprained.
They'll tell him
Big
tomorrow.
man is back. Second down. Washington. He bounces off tacklers and into the arms of Dyron Talbot.
There's flails away in there, doesn't he?
It goes in all directions. The human body becomes the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle.
He's close to a first down. They're going to measure. Didn't he have some eye problems at San Diego when he came up, Howard? With he wears those glasses really for protection, I understand.
Yeah, I got a letter, by the way, Howard. That's what I was supposed to tell you. Evidently, you said he had a cataract or something.
That was the information given to us.
Well, then somebody...
It was erroneous. The letter you got is correct.
He
does not have a cataract problem.
How'd you know I got that letter? Did I tell you that before?
No.
Well, that's right. It's
psychic.
Psychic. Well, that's anyway. That's what I was going to say. He doesn't have cataracts. It's something about... well, it's something else. I don't know what it is.
First down. Tell you what, he has a lot of ability. This #1 draft pick originally of the San Diego Chargers. He didn't play at all his rookie year. Came back after a knee problem. Played sparingly last year. Was more of a receiver than anything else. And then when Lydell Mitchell was traded to San Diego, and he came to Baltimore, well, he has been spectacular ever since that third game.
I noticed Lydell went over 6,000 yards in his career yesterday.
He'll get a lot more. Jones fires the car complete.
And he fired it. I mean, he fired it. He threw that ball like Ron Guidry, only with the right arm.
They're both Louisiana. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Has a gain of 7. It'll be second down and 3.
Pretty good statistics for a guy with a presumably bad arm. Meantime, you can sense that Washington is sagging a bit at this point.
Handoff, Washington finds another little opening and gets down to the 20-yard line. He had to get to the 19 for the first. Harold McClinton in on the stop.
Now they're within Lenhart's range.
He has to get it a little bit higher than he did that last one. It started off a little bit low. They need 7. They don't need 3. They won't go ahead and win. 3 and just tie.
Third down, 1.5 yards for Baltimore.
They want 7.
That's right.
2 tight ends are in. Mac Alston, Reese McCall. The setbacks, 23 is McCauley. Roosevelt Leaks is 48. Leaks, huge hole. to the 15. First down, Baltimore. Meanwhile, we continue to work on the clock. We're inside 7 minutes.
Down to 6:25 and counting.
Bert Jones going all the way, grimacing in pain as he does so. Before the game, he had a couple of little kids out here about an hour and a half before the game, was testing that arm. Even then, he would grimace after he threw the ball. Washington. Oh, it's a slick little move. Out to the outside, Gerard Williams takes him out of bounds, but he gets a couple of yards.
Another example of really a back who got some yardage when most other backs you can think of would. He had that little quick acceleration to the outside. Kenny Houston had a pretty good angle on him.
They talked about the great record that Roosevelt Leaks had at the University of Texas. Well, what a remarkable career Joe Washington had at the University of Oklahoma, where he gained almost 4,000 yards rushing. Overall in his career, nearly 6,000 yards. All 5'10", 183 pounds of him. 2nd and 8. Play action. Jones looking in the corner for Dowdy, and good coverage by Gerard. Gerard Williams with fine coverage, filling in for a pretty nifty little man who finally had to give it up, Pat Fisher.
Well, it's Lamar Parrish who's out because of the broken arm suffered in the Giants game. And Williams, third-year man from Langston, is in there.
Sure, a great deal of respect for Parrish when they didn't deactivate him, just in hopes that he will come back before the season's over. So they're going with one man short on their roster.
Right. Parrish has a broken wrist. They do feel he'll be able to be back before the end of the year. 3rd down, 8. Big play for Baltimore. For Dowdy in the end zone, incomplete. And Jake Scott is the defender.
Jake was right there, wasn't he?
He sure was.
That was really a good defense.
Fortunate that it wasn't an intercept. So now they will settle for the tie if Linhart can get it.
Look at it again as the former MVP in Super Bowl VII, Jake Scott, breaks it up.
Let's leave out old town. Jip, where does he live? Up in Gypsum, Colorado, or something like that, Frank?
He has a ranch out there in Colorado.
You got to use a 4-wheel drive to get there 12 months out of the year.
Tony Linhart comes in to attempt to tie it up. It'll be a 30-yard attempt. Kirkland is the holder.
Oh, no. He missed it.
He hooks it left. Not good.
Oh, Tony.
Linhart misses from in close. He had a previous one blocked, and Baltimore trails 17-14.
Fantastic scoring play by that New York Life Insurance team. Let's see the instant replay. Look at those New York Life pros blocking out Jake's money problems, stopping his retirement worries. And there he is, reaching his goal. Jake's got financial security.
New York Life made it happen.
Where the name of the game is life, there's New York Life.
If you're in the market for a new car this year, you could spend a good deal of time in showrooms like this. There's a lot to learn. Cars have changed immensely in the last few years, so Buick dealers urge you to consider the offerings very carefully. What you see in a Buick showroom may then look even better, and you won't end up with something that's almost a Buick. And why should you? After all, life is to enjoy.
Saturday, an NCAA doubleheader. #1 ranked Oklahoma battles 4th ranked Nebraska. Then headlining regional games, 3rd ranked Alabama tackles LSU on ABC.
Now Washington Redskins looking for a 2-game lead over the Dallas Cowboys. Will play the Giants in Washington next week. They, by the way, have dropped 4 straight to the Giants. And after that is St. Louis, Dallas, Miami, Atlanta, and Chicago. Right now they have a 1st and 10. They lead 17-14. 5:42 remaining in the game. Theismann drops the ball. And a hustling reaction on the part of Mike Thomas.
He dribbled it once and then picked it up.
The only thing that I would question about a play like this is a very difficult thing to run anytime. It's the fullback goes in front of you.
You see that?
Oh, they had a good bounce and came right back to it.
was Thomas who
I think Thomas had his training in basketball under Marcus Haynes of the Globetrotters.
He had a problem in the first quarter the same way.
Jones again.
There was a loss of 7 yards. Second down, 17. Theismann with some dipsy-do. Dumps it off to Riggins, and Riggins has the sideline, steps out at the 21-yard line.
That was a little dipsy-do, wasn't it? They had guys going all directions out there. Finally ran up on the screen. Good play.
I like that call.
Oh, I love those guys. Those are the guys you draw in the dirt. You know, say, a couple of you guys go over here, a couple of you guys go there.
Not sitting back there with the plunge in for a yard. And
he had to get back that loss off the double dribble.
Third down and 9.
It wasn't a double dribble. It was a good dribble.
Simonetti comes out. Baltimore slips into the prevent. John Reagan, single setback. 3 wide receivers. Bugs 88, Thompson 83, McDaniel 86.
All right, they'll go to Bugs.
Trying to go to Bugs, and Bugs, of course, had no idea that Theismann was being pressured as he was. There were 4 Baltimore Colts all over Theismann. He just dumped it upfield. 4th down, they'll have to punt.
He was really crunched.
They really were.
There's the story of your game at this point. Tony Lindhart. He does not have distance range, and one might have expected the first 2 misses, but not reasonably the third.
Mike Bragg in a pressure position for Washington. He's been there before. This is Marshall Johnson for Baltimore, awaiting the kick at his 42-yard line. End over end as he hurries it. Johnson from his 46-yard line. And gets into Washington territory at the 48. Pete Wysocki down there hustling for Washington.
I'll tell you, that Baltimore defense has really done its job.
They have.
The last 2 series of downs, it was 3 downs and over with Theismann at the quarterback helm.
All right, this is showtime right here.
Right here, because we've got 4:36 left. And Burt Jones gets still another chance.
Again, good field position for Baltimore. Burt Jones remains the quarterback. A quick toss to Washington.
Oh, boy.
Boy, there's some lightning for him.
Oh, boy.
Washington to the 30-yard line. First down, Baltimore.
Good block by Dowdy, who came down from his flanker position that time. Frank helped that one open up, and Washington did the rest of it.
You know, Coy Bacon made a good move. He stood his man up, but Washington was gone. Watch number 80, top of your screen, right there. Stand him up. Forget it. He's gone. 17-yard pickup.
That's old Tank McClendon that finally gets him down. Good block right there.
Leaks against Bacon.
Roosevelt Leaks was the man.
He was blocking Coy. He did his job. He kept Coy from getting old Joe.
And you feel it so many times in a ball game. This momentum has turned completely. Leaks trips, but Don McCauley steps to the outside and manages to get a couple of yards out of it.
There's Tony Lindhart, and he may get another chance. If Burt can't get them in for the touchdown, they're already clearly within not just field goal range, but Lindhart's range.
Another chance and blows it. He'll be back on the Austrian ski team.
Another piece of that jigsaw puzzle of yours fitting back in there, right?
3 minutes, 20 seconds left and counting down.
Second down, 8. Jones wants Carr. Beautiful shot.
I'm telling you.
That did it.
3 touchdown passes. You're right. He gets an Oscar.
Oh, he does. He just
watch the way this ball is thrown.
Right between 2 defenders. Yeah. Didn't flutter one bit.
That was
he almost caught it for Carr.
Really not bad. Not bad defensive coverage.
What a bullet.
You got, is that Dusick back there, the linebacker, had a good deep drop. And that's Williams, I believe, that was, well, he had Williams beat pretty good, a little outside move, but the ball was right on the money.
Here's Roger Carr. And there's the outside move. And the ball right in there. The timing perfect. What a performance by Bert Jones.
Tony Linhart. And Linhart got off the bubble, so to speak. He didn't have to go for it. As Bert Jones has hit his third touchdown pass of the night to this man, Roger Carr, who has caught his second. We'll be back.
This Olympus OM-1 brought back photographs from around the world, but it wasn't on vacation. The OM-1 went into combat, where rugged reliability is a necessity. The OM-1 recorded disasters because it's fast and responsive. In fact, wherever you find news, you'll find the gutsy Olympus OM-1. It's used by United Press International worldwide. The Olympus OM-1. It's outsold all compact SLRs. You know our pictures. Now you know our name. The Olympus OM-1 is #1.
Det måste inte vara hård för att möta möjliga och fort och lite tändstift.
ليس من الضروري أن تكون سياراتك من صنع فورد لكي تستفيد قدر الإمكان من شرار شمعات أوتولايت.
Autolite makes plugs for Fords, but they also make plugs for almost every car made, American or import.
Doesn't have to be a Ford. Get the most out of right spark plug.
All right, you're going to see a look of a man who says, hey, it ain't nothing to it but to do it. Zip. Now close in there, and he says, well, pooh, I do this most every time I get out here. I do that. I hit 3.
He's a great player. He's a great competitor.
He had a great playing father, and I know he's watching tonight, Dub Jones, and interesting story about these two. They're both in the NFL record book. His father, 6 touchdowns against the Bears in '51. And Bert for consecutive completions. Tony Green bobbles it into the end zone, and you better let it get out of there because that ball's alive.
Well, if you want to look at it with 3 minutes left on the clock from the Washington point of view, their failure to move the ball on 2 consecutive possessions, to retain possession for just 3 downs and over, thus not using up the clock, cost them the game. Give credit on the other side to a great Baltimore defensive effort tonight.
And this man.
And that man. What a performance.
3 minutes remaining in the game. Washington, they have their work cut out for them. Don't cut them out of it. They've been here before. They know how to handle it. But they have sagged here in the 4th quarter. Theismann dumps it to Reagans. And Reagans bowls out for a first down close to the 40-yard line, upended by Ed Simonetti.
Right now, Coach Don Landry is looking on and liking what he sees.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Okay.
Probably looking at films from yesterday and not liking what he saw.
Washington has to play the Giants next week, who beat them earlier on 17-6.
The first down is at the 34-yard line. Ricky Thompson split to the right by Theismann, McDaniel to the left. Out to John Reagans. He's close to another first down, and Norm Thompson just leveled Ricky Thompson, and that was the receiver that Theismann wanted.
2 minutes, 13 seconds left, close to the 2-minute warning. And a field goal of no use. They must have the touch.
Theismann did a good job of really kind of sticking in there and getting that last pass off. He was pressured pretty well right there at the last. Stuck it in pretty good.
Second down, 2. The ball at the 42-yard line. 3 timeouts remain for Washington. The clock, of course, 2 will be stopped at the 2-minute warning. They have plenty of time. Their job is to move the football.
Yeah, boy.
Reagans on the draw. And Reagans has dragged down his 74, Dave Rowe. He held on.
He got short of it. We'll have the 2-minute warning.
And there it is. 2 minutes, an exciting football game. We really hope you're enjoying it. A beautiful night from Baltimore. Baltimore leading 21-17 with 2 minutes remaining. We'll be right back.
You gonna try and do that to me?
Yep. That's the pros, man. The only pleasure you have to look forward to is a dip of Skull.
We'll see. Have a dip?
I started with mild happy days, and I'll stay with it.
Smokeless is the only way to go.
Just a pinch between my cheek and gum gives me great tobacco taste without lighting up. And leaves my hands free.
You gotta catch me first.
Try roping him!
With a little practice, these guys just might make it.
All the guys that do commercials for light beer from Miller are big stars and guys like that. Me, I'm just a humble bartender, but I drink light too. And I'll tell you why. It's less filling, it's got 1/3 less calories than a regular beer, and it tastes great.
Jerry, now that you're a big star, can I have your autograph?
Well, sure, Mr. Dangerfield.
Hey, would you like mine?
Not really.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
How about my initials?
Washington, with 2 minutes remaining to play, 3 timeouts remaining. They have a 3rd down, short yardage, less than a yard. The ball at their own 43-yard line. The 2 tight ends are in. Theismann went over, had a chit-chat with head coach Jack Pardee. Keep in mind the good go play action. Try to score from here and still have it down to pick up their 1st down. What do you think, D?
Well, I think they'll get their 1st down. I think they go for their 1st down and get that and move on. Now, they've still got 2 minutes, got a long way to go. Usually teams have got one special, like play action, short yardage pass. You want to use that, you want to score with it. You don't want to make 30, 40 yards and then not have a score. They need a touchdown. Field goal won't help them.
And, of course, Baltimore had time to chew the fat with their defensive people. They are not going to play him totally for the run. 3rd and short, less than a yard. Riggins sprints for the 1st down, getting out to the 47-yard line. So Washington does 2 things. They get the 1st, they stop the clock. 1:56 remaining in the game.
It's a good point. Used up 4 seconds and got that 1st down. Now they're sitting there on all, well, they still have 3 timeouts, don't they?
3 timeouts.
3 timeouts. So both teams still have all their timeouts.
1:56 left in the game.
Washington used to run a middle screen in this 2-minute period where they'll run off from one side and the fullback will stay back in the middle of the field. It was always pretty effective.
1st and 10. Theismann goes to Riggins. And Riggins, the workhorse for the Redskins tonight, gets inside the 45-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Darrell loose.
Quickly a timeout call. That uses up 1. They have 2 left. 1:44 on the clock.
And Theismann will go over, talk it over again. Good hard-hitting game. Washington 7-2 on the season. Next week, we told you, they play the Giants in Washington. They've lost 4 straight to them. Then they travel to St. Louis, and then the showdown in Dallas on Thanksgiving Day.
There are no chumps in this league, not anymore.
It really is. When you see what Tampa did.
That's right.
Johnny McKay pulled his club together. Jack Patera's got a great thing going in Seattle.
How about Bud Wilkinson? His club had lost 8 in a row. Now they've won 2 in a row. And don't forget, tomorrow night, beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, ABC's extensive coverage through the night with Frank Reynolds at the helm as anchorman in New York, where there will also be Barbara Wallers with special interviews, and Lou Harris, whom you met at halftime, and Max Robinson in Chicago, Howard K. Smith in Washington, and what we call political close-ups of winning candidates all over the country.
The main thing is get out and vote. 2nd down, a little more than a yard. Riggins negotiates that and more. Inside the 40 to the 39, 1st down, Washington. And they'll be with their hurry-up offense now. They don't want to use the 2 timeouts they have remaining. This will be a pass. Theismann will either go for the completion or to kill it. Whistle blows.
Well, I tell you, they had a good pattern set up. Did you see it? Riggins on the outside, and that was loose. That came inside with Fugit. It's too bad they didn't get that one off.
While they sort this out, we'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations along the line to say hello.
This is WPLG, Channel 10, Miami. Call it home.
Washington had not quite got set.
Could be. Let's bring in Linhart.
Have to set a full second before he can snap the ball.
I'm looking for Linhart.
No penalty. They'll start the clock, and Washington will have to hustle to the line of scrimmage. Seconds ticking away. 17 as Theismann drops back. Hangs it up for Riggins in a crowd, and it bounces off a couple of defenders. Norm Thompson was there, as was Darrell Luce. Stops the clock with 1:11.
That was a situation that could be very close to what they used to refer to as face guarding, which is pass interference.
That's the value to throwing that kind of pass. Anything can happen down there. Interference, a deflection. Look at it.
They were all over in pretty good shape. It was a similar pattern to what they had called earlier. That was almost intercepted, as a matter of fact. All right, 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. The Redskins have 2 timeouts, 1:11 on the clock. They're down by 4 points. And Theismann is down at midfield, tries to get in the direction of Mike Thomas. I believe he did. Baltimore is saying he's grounded the ball. That's not true. He saw Mike Thomas trying to get there.
It was kind of an unusual situation. Frank, 2nd and 10, and they decided to throw everything at him. They came with a blitz, and they really did give him some trouble. I think he did get the ball off. I think everybody knows he was just trying to get rid of it, but considering the fact he got it close enough to
reiterate what Howard said earlier, that's the plus he does give you. I'm a big fan of Billy Kilmer's, but it would have been difficult for Billy to get out of that situation.
1:06 left.
3rd down. And now Joe has to get something of it.
There it is.
Fires, and it's complete to number 86, John McDaniels. Drilled at the 20-yard line.
I'll tell you, he drilled that ball.
Flag is down also back where Theismann was down.
Flag.
Could have a holding call. We do. Holding against Washington.
That's it.
Dave Rowe holds up his hand as if to indicate I was held.
Well, it was a well-thrown ball.
It really was.
Yeah.
It's too bad for Washington.
He set back in there on a 3rd and 10, and McDaniels came across the middle, and he drilled it. Hit him right between that 8 and the 6.
Here's the call.
Holding number 75 on the offense.
Oh, they got old Terry.
Terry Hermeling holding. Theismann's problems are compounded. He has a 3rd down now and 20.
And 58 seconds showing on the clock.
And not a bad call to come right back with that one, wouldn't you say, Don?
Yeah, he's got to work back in the middle, I think, Frank. They're not going to let him catch it and kill the clock, too, so he worked something down in the middle. Oh, that's no good. No. That was really not a very good pattern, I don't think, because he didn't have anybody really breaking into the middle.
Only a couple of fans.
Yeah.
All right, it's down to this.
52 seconds.
52 seconds.
In this ballpark, fans used to run out on the field in the middle of the game when they had Mike Curtis, and Curtis would tackle the fans.
They're easier. The ball at the 49-yard line. Bitterly fought game between 2 defensive teams. Baltimore, you could sense late in the 3rd quarter, was taking over the momentum.
You could feel Washington sagging.
Fired up by their quarterback, Burt Jones. Had a tremendous night. 3 touchdown passes, 2 to Roger Carr.
Washington.
4th down. And the ball is jarred loose by Joe Ehrman. Dallas will be only 1 game behind the Redskins.
And Washington has now seen the doors close.
Closed door.
Ehrman knocked the ball loose, and I believe it was Dave Rowe who came up with the recovery.
Well, the defense really has done a super job. This is just the final touch, icing on the cake, and man, he zeroed in on him, and there it was. Big Joe. Big Joe Ehrman.
They can stop the clock, Washington can, twice, but I think it becomes academic. Burt Jones comes back in. He's gone all the way tonight. A great display by this young man. We've watched him during his career. He is a very special person that plays this very difficult position. What an arm. Fiery competitor. Hand off Washington, and all Jones did was tell him to hang on to it.
Yeah. You have to respect Ted Marchibroda and the character of this Baltimore team. Injury-riddled from the very beginning of the season, they've somehow found the wherewithal to register upsets of New England, a powerhouse team, Denver, a team good enough to have gotten to the Super Bowl last year, and now, quite apparently, a very fine Washington team. When you hold a team together that way, you're doing something right. So you've got to respect these people. Don't forget, Friday night, it's going to be Fight Night on ABC. Larry Holmes against Alfredo Evangelista for the WBC World Heavyweight Championship. Kenny Norton back in action. And we'll have to see how Kenny looks as he goes against Randy Stevens. Young, not great, but with potential and coming. And at Kenny's age, you have to take a close look at him. The Norton bout will start the evening. And then a kid with razor blades in his gloves, Alexis Arguello.
What?
I'll never forget the way he slit Alfredo Escalera's face open back in January in San Juan, Puerto Rico. A great puncher, stand-up style fighter. So it's a big evening of boxing, Friday night, live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Are you going to be busy? Then we'll be in Los Angeles Sunday night, Pittsburgh, and the Rams, and Oakland and Cincinnati on Monday, and then we're going to ship you off to Smithsonian, Howard. Killing the clock one more time will be the Redskins. That's the final time that they can stop it. I'd like to thank our statistician and research man, Jerry Klein, our spotter, Steve Bazika.
Yeah.
And our booth man, Bob Rosberg. Heard that name before? You
Yeah, Rossi.
Thank you, Ross.
Rossi, I want you to talk to your father about why he blew the U.S. Open at the Houston Champions course back in the late 60s. Don't forget, too, Sunday night, Terry Bradshaw, special Sunday night edition of Monday Night Football. Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, Johnny Stallworth, Franco Harris, Rocky Bleier, who had a great game against New Orleans yesterday, against Pat Hayden and Jack Youngblood, and Freddie Dreyer, and Lawrence McCutcheon, and Johnny Capoletti, and Willie Miller, who's having a great year. That's a showdown game. The Steelers 9-1 against the Rams 8-2. And Monday night,
yes, sir,
the Raiders back in a tie with Denver for first place in the American Football Conference's Western Division against the Bengals, who fought and lost to San Diego, but who a week earlier struck down a Houston Oilers team that you saw a couple of weeks ago beat Pittsburgh on Monday Night Football. So the Bengals are nobody's chumps, regardless of the won and lost record.
Could be final play of the ball game.
I think that'll do it. I think that'll do it.
That will be it. And Baltimore has moved their record to 4-6. Washington 7-3. Dallas, of course, 6-4. Another divisional battle going on once again in the Eastern Division of the NFC. And how about the ball game those two men play tonight? Brad Disick, 59 of the Redskins, and of course, Bert Jones. We have already given you all the superlatives. He deserves them all tonight. Tremendous performance. Once again, the final score, Baltimore 21, Washington 17. This is Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith saying so long from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. Travel arrangements made through and a promotion fee paid by United Airlines. United built the largest airline in the free world around you. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as a leader in sports television. Baltimore defeats Washington 21-17.